Hello, my narcissistic abuse family. Today, my topic is infuriating as are most narcissistic abuse topics. This is related to having I guess it could go both ways. If you have a narcissistic parent, undoubtedly this has impacted you and hurt you in profound ways. If you are if you have suffered from a narcissistic spouse or partner and you have co-parented with this person, they're undoubtedly doing this to your child, and they've probably done it to you as well. It's about boundary violations and blatant disregard for your privacy, for respect of your personal belongings, of your space, of anything pertaining to your intimate belongings. I grew up with parents that were toxic as toxic can be. My mother was the primary narcissist. As I am trudging through this recovery, I'm starting to realize that I do believe the enabler is partaking vicariously, whatever, in the narcissistic supply as well. I've done a video on this. I believe he is an inverted narcissist, which is essentially someone that is codependent but lacks the gusto, I guess, that the narcissist has, for lack of a better term. But they kind of ride the coattails, they piggyback off the narcissist to obtain the same goal, essentially, which is a grandiose sense of self. They're looking to elevate themselves and take down anyone in their path that might impede this process. So, when you are a child of a narcissist, they have zero respect for you. Goose egg, none whatsoever. They don't even have respect for peers or people in general, like humanity as a whole. Narcissists view themselves as being entitled, as being superior. So their level of respect that they possess is next to none, virtually nil to begin with. So, unfortunately, if you are born into this type of environment with a narcissistic parent, they view you essentially as property. They will disrespect you in every way possible. There's a part of me that believes it's almost like hazing. It's almost like, or it's being bullied, for sure. You're being bullied by your own parent. And it's as if they want to destroy your autonomy. They want to destroy any sense of self that you possess because that's what was done to them. We don't know all of the origins of people's narcissistic personality disorders, but a large majority believes that the origins of narcissism are rooted in childhood trauma. And based on the small information I have about my narcissistic mother's mother, in quotes, again, I don't like to apply that term to this woman, but the small amount of information that I have pertaining to her upbringing, I'm certain that this was the case with her. And her parents, they sure as heck did not respect her, and so she paid it forward and made certain that I had no sense of respect or autonomy, independence. This particularly will impact you as you reach adolescence and forward from there. As a teenager, for sure, they're invasive as hell. As an adult, even, they will impose themselves on your marriage, on your home life, on your family. It's endless. So, by the way, if you are currently living in this environment as a minor, my heart goes out to you. You're not a child anymore because you wouldn't be watching this. You are developing into an independent adult, and you have the intellectual integrity to know that there's something wrong with this environment that you're living in. And there's hope because you're educating yourself, you're learning about this disordered dynamic, and the most important thing you can do is implement boundaries and to start establishing your self-respect, because if you have respect for yourself, that's how you teach others to treat you. However you treat yourself, however you view yourself, will be how others view you. Now, that being said, these people are intensely disordered, so it might not transfer to them, but at least you know that you have the integrity, you have the boundaries that you have established for yourself, and that will only be beneficial to you as you progress throughout life. Anyway, so where I'm going with this was when I was a teenager, I experienced their flagrant disregard for my personal space, for my privacy in all areas. I have numerous examples. One time, I had a pack of cigarettes in my JanSport backpack. I had my backpack sitting on my bed, and I was kind of stupid. So I had the pack of cigarettes was notably like sticking out from the front pouch of the backpack, and I came back, and our mother had helped herself to said cigarettes, removed them, and threw them out, whatever she did. So that's fine. I mean, that's a parental thing to do. You don't want your child, smoking. Smoking is generally just not good for anyone. But it's just the fact that she unapologetically helped herself to it, never addressed the issue, because we know that narcissists are extremely immature and they're not capable of conducting themselves in a mature manner. So rather than sit me down and have a talk explaining to me the negative repercussions on my health, she just took the cigarettes out of my backpack and threw them away. That was how she dealt with it. So that's one silly example. Another example is I had a phone in my room, and the enabler idiot had a 2-line phone in his office where he just burrows away all the time. And I would hear him clicking back and forth. I would hear him eavesdropping on my phone calls. There was another example. They can eavesdrop on your phone calls. Disgusting. Despicable. I would not dream of doing this. And even if I did for my child's well-being, I would never tell them. Well, they didn't tell me. They were just doing it because they were disrespecting me. Another example is, I got like a partial scholarship academic to college, paid for all my own stuff. I was working full time and paid for all my own stuff, like I said. But because I'm an adult now and I had a lot of my belongings at their narc den, and I had boxes of my college stuff, and they just threw it out. Like, they just threw out like my notebooks and things like that because they don't care. They didn't even think to ask me or anything. So disrespect is the theme here. Furthermore, as an adult, I'm happily married, and the toxic narcissistic mother would constantly try to insert herself in our business. And you know that you want so desperately to just have a supportive, nurturing mother that you can confide in and talk to. And she was always trying to elicit hostility from me in regard to my husband. She never succeeded, but she sure as heck tried. On several occasions, I would say something about my husband that annoyed me because, let's face it, love and marriage, it happens. You know, we get on each other's nerves. But one time I was saying something about Joe that annoyed me, and she tries to, like, fan that flame, you know, to take, like, a small tidbit of information and just explode it into something it's not. Like, Joe and I legitimately love each other. We're not perfect, but the narcissist will always try to elicit misery and dissension wherever they go. They absolutely love and thrive off of drama. So that's part of their intention, but ultimately, you know, she would come to our home as well, and everyone would be in the kitchen eating or something like that. She would just make off, disappear, and go upstairs, help herself to wherever she wanted to go to snoop, basically, was all the way. And then she would come back and be like, where's this that I bought the kids? Or where's that I bought the kids? As if it should be regarded as some type of, you know, divine presentation. You know, she bought us something, so it needs to be held in the highest regard. But ultimately, disrespect, no boundaries. That's why it is imperative to implement boundaries with these people. At this point, I have chosen to go full no contact because there's no hope for them. They have no regard for me as an individual, as an adult, as a mother, as a woman, none of it. So throughout my life, they have always disrespected me in terms of boundaries. I put this on my Instagram for anyone that follows me. I actually had several boxes at their house that I'm disabled, so I can't just go over there and grab stuff. So I asked them one time they were coming over. I was like, hey, could you grab this stuff and bring it over? I wanted, like, childhood diaries that I had from when I was, like, in grade school, and also photo albums that I had from college. And do you know, they brought the boxes over, and I started flipping through the photo albums, and there was pictures missing. I was like, what? Like, I know that I sure the hell did not take out these pictures. And you know, the single photo albums, you flip the page, they're just one photo on each page, so you flip them. So it's pretty obvious if there is a photograph missing. So I actually confronted the narc. I know, like, they can't deal with that. They can't be held accountable. But it was my stuff. And I was like, hey, where's these pictures? And she was like, oh, I don't know. You know, denial, toxic amnesia, can't be bothered, can't be held accountable. So all of a sudden, the next time I saw her, she was like, oh, here, are these the pictures you're talking about? And it was the pictures that were missing from the photo album. And coincidentally, there was pictures, I think, of like ex-boyfriends or guy friends or something. And she took it upon herself to weed out these photos from my album. I was like, this is bananas, bonkers. And Joe and I tell each other everything. It's not like he doesn't know about anything in my life. We're totally transparent with each other. I think that's actually a result of narcissistic abuse. And thankfully, Joe is the same as well. He was not narcissistically abused. but I am full transparency all day, every day. I love to be completely forthcoming with all information pertaining to me, my life, anything, my feelings. I strive to be entirely honest because narcissists are liars. But so she miraculously procured these missing photographs. And when I was like, and it's like, nobody can say anything about it because the narcissistic family is toxic as hell and no one knows how to communicate, so you can't do that. So she miraculously produced these photographs that she did not remove, no, but all of a sudden she had them. Insane, you guys. So if you're a teenager, adolescent in this environment, just protect yourself. Protect your stuff. Oh, I have another funny story, and this is so inappropriate. I kind of mentioned this in my Instagram post as well. Okay, so I met my husband in college. We drank professionally. That's an exaggeration, but we did. We drank all the time because, we footloose and fancy free. Freshman year, we met each other. So we had these profoundly offensive. Hey, you guys, not sure what happened. I will string this together. But anyway, so my husband and I met each other in college, and we had these horrifically vulgar, explicit pictures, I'll say. And we had them, and that was back in the 90s when you had to actually take photographs to get developed at CVS. So we did that because we had no shame in our game. Anyway, we did that. I had these photographs after I broke up with my husband numerous times. But anyway, neither here nor there. I had these pictures at my home, the Narc Den, and I had shoved them between a drawer in my nightstand in my furniture. So it was like between the furniture and the drawer. And one summer, I was down the shore at a summer share, and the narcs, the toxic duo, sold my childhood furniture. So I came home, there were stacks of all my stuff around my room, and would you know, these pictures were just placed strategically on one of the stacks. I was like, oh my, first of all, I went through so many emotions driving home from the shore when they told me that they sold my furniture. I was like, oh dear God, these people are going to find these photographs with their young child that they bought the furniture for. I was like, that's horrific. But anyway, I came home, I was relieved to see the photographs, but of course they were placed on top of a stack. So no doubt the toxic duo helped themselves and looked at these photographs. Disgusting, appalling, total violation of my privacy. But I told my husband this story, and he laughs. He thinks it's so great because he's like, I hope it burned their retinas. I hope they're scarred forever. But nobody ever said anything about it. They'll just keep, violating your privacy and disrespecting you every way they possibly can. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to cut this off because I think I'm running out of room here. But just accept this as validation. The narcissist will have no respect for you, no respect for your privacy, and anything that you consider personal in your life, they view it as fair game. They're your parent. They're entitled. You're their possession. So, all right, you guys. I love you all. Thank you for watching. I hope I provided you with some validation, some useful information. We're bumped and we're bruised, but more than anything, we are blessed. By the way, this experience makes me so much more respectful of our own children. They're little. They're like 7 and 8 right now. But I treasure them and I respect them, and almost like to an extreme because I was so disrespected and mistreated. Like, I'm excessive about respecting them, but it's it's a good thing. So that's what we got from these creeps. Anyway, guys, we're bumped and we're bruised, but more than anything, we're blessed. I will be back with a new video soon. See you guys.